Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. 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 Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hey everyone, my name is Reagan and this is my new booktube channel, Ray Reads. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Reagan and this is my channel, Ray Reads. And today I'm going to be doing my 1 year on booktube Q&A.
Yeah.
I simply cannot believe that it has been a whole year that I've been on booktube. I started my booktube channel back in May of 2020 when we were really in the height of quarantine and things were just shut down, and I was spending so much time laying out by the pool reading. I was just literally doing nothing but reading, and I've been watching booktube for years. I've always been on booktube. Like, I have been here for so long just watching, and I was always like so scared to start a booktube channel because I had tried to start like a makeup channel like a couple years ago and it just kind of failed and I didn't go anywhere with it, and it just like was really hard for me to get momentum, and so I was too scared to try booktube, and I ended up trying it and it ended up flourishing, and I ended up meeting amazing people and gaining amazing experiences. And like, you guys, you don't even know like all that booktube has given me. First of all, it's given me lifelong friends. I've made friends on booktube that will be my friends past booktube, past the next 10 years, just lifelong friends that I'm so excited to see those friendships through, and all over just a love of books, and not even like similar books. Like, some of my friends read totally different books. My wedding photographer I met on Bookstagram. Like, just this community has given me so much, and so I'll never be able to like repay any of you guys for all the love and just all the life you've brought me. And so I'm just so thankful. I've just had such a good year here on booktube, and even those couple months I had to take off for school, like, it's just been such a great community, and I'll just never be over how thankful I am for this opportunity and just this platform to talk about books that I love with people that I love. So I met my best friends that I met on booktube. I met them in real life. We went to Dallas together. Like, I have just had invaluable experiences that I never would have had if it weren't for booktube. So it has been 1 year today. I posted my very first video today on 2020. Please do not go back and look at it. It is the most cringiest thing you'll ever see in your entire life. I was like super sick and I had a stuffy nose and I like sounded so stupid, and it's really cringy. Don't go back and watch any of my older videos. But I cannot believe it's been a whole year, and I'm not going to continue to talk about it because you're probably going to get bored. But I just love booktube and I love this community, and if you are thinking about starting, please just take the jump, take the leap. You would love it. So for my 1 year anniversary, I decided to do a Q&A. I've only ever done one other Q&A on my channel, and I did it when I hit 500 subscribers. And I think we're at like 3.8 now, 3.8 thousand. So I wanted to make sure that all those other people who didn't maybe get a chance to ask those questions or see that video, you have a chance to get to know me a little bit more. But yeah, I asked on my Instagram, my Twitter, and on my last video on YouTube to just submit those Q&A questions. And so I do have quite a few, so let's go ahead and just jump into it. So this first Q&A question actually is a great one to kind of jumpstart us. It's, what made you get into reading? I had a couple people ask me this question. This is a really hard question to answer because I've always been a reader at heart. Like, even when I was in elementary school, I always loved reading and I always found books that I loved. I loved the Junie B. Jones books. Those were like some of my favorites. I read A Princess and the Midnight Ball by somebody, I don't even know who, when I was in like middle school and fell in love with it. And that's where I think my romance heart developed, was from that book, because it is like a YA romance, and oh my god, it was so good. So I think that's really where it developed. Some other really crucial reads for me were The Summer That I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. Gosh, I'm trying to think about everything else. I never read Harry Potter as a kid. I never read Percy Jackson as a kid. So those books really weren't a part of my reading life. What jump-started me into reading. After all of that, I kind of stopped reading, and then once I was in high school, probably about sophomore or junior year of high school, I discovered Colleen Hoover. I want to say actually a friend of mine who's not a reader like told me to read this book, and so I picked up Hopeless by Colleen Hoover, which I have on my shelf right here. I don't even know if it's in the viewfinder or not. I don't feel like getting it out because it's at the very bottom of the stack and it would just fall everywhere. But I picked up Hopeless. I read it on like an online website, probably like some illegal website. It's just not good. But I picked it up on this website and I read it, and it just kickstarted my love for Colleen Hoover and for reading and for romance. So that is like my true, like what got me into romance and what got me into like true reading was Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. That's where I put a lot of my weight on that question. So yeah. Somebody asked if you have the ACOTAR books, which one is your favorite? I think they meant to say if you have read the ACOTAR books, and I've only actually read the first two. So obviously my favorite is A Court of Wings and Ruin, but we all know why. So that one's just so good, but I haven't actually finished ACOTAR, and so whenever I get to that, my answer might change, but as of right now, it's A Court of Wings and Ruin. No. A Court of Mist and Fury, goodness. Okay, so I had quite a few questions on how me and my fiance met. My fiance's name is Griffin, and we've been dating for over 5 years now, and we are engaged. We got engaged on Christmas Eve of this year, and our wedding is going to be on December 4th of this year, 2021. Me and Griffin have kind of actually known each other our whole lives. His cousin, his name is Zach, and I grew up with Zach. My dad actually used to be a pastor, and so Zach used to go to my dad's church. They were members of my dad's church. So I actually grew up with Zach, and we were like friends at church growing up. And Zach would always bring Griffin to like huge events, like if we had like a beach camp or if we did like a Dina weekend or something, he would always invite Griffin, and I always had a crush on Griffin. Like I remember even in 2nd or 3rd grade being at a kids event and seeing Griffin across the room and having a crush on him. And so we both always had a crush on each other. And then once we both got into high school, he came to a summer camp, and we left the summer camp both like really committed to like dating, even though we both didn't have a job or cars yet. So we dated for the summer after that summer camp. So we dated for like 2 or 3 months over the summer, and then at the end of the summer I decided that I wanted to kind of end things because I didn't feel like I should be in a relationship if I couldn't drive myself to dates or if I couldn't pay for my own meal. And I felt like truly like I needed to have my own job and I needed to have my own car in order to be in a relationship, and that was just something that like it just like felt wrong to me. And so I was like, we just need to end things. And so I broke up with him, and not really like intending to get back together. I kind of was just like ready to end things. And then the next like 6 months later in the spring, so like early January or late winter, I guess, it was February, we went on a ski trip with my church, and Griffin came, and I knew going into it that he was going to be there, and I was really nervous because every time I'm with him, I'm like always, every time I would see him, I was always like attracted to him. And so anyways, we saw each other again, and I was like, oh, you know, love you, whatever. And so I'm like trying to speed through this, but anyways, we came home from that trip, and at that point in time, we both had cars and we both had jobs, so we could both like support ourselves on our own dates, take ourselves to each other's house, because he did live 30 minutes away from my home. And so it was like really a lot to ask my parents to drive me 30 minutes across town to his house, and then for him or my parents to come back and pick me up. So it was just a lot, and so I really wanted to wait until I could drive. And so anyways, we got back together at the end of that trip, and we've been together ever since. So that was February 13th of 2017. No, 2016. And then we've been dating ever since. So now we're engaged, and I'm really excited to be getting married to him. Okay, so somebody said, how did you meet your fiance? If a romance was written about it, what tropes are in it? And so for this one, I'd have to say second chance romance, because we tried again a second time and it worked. And also probably like friends to lovers, because we just became friends and we were like always flirting with each other. So maybe it wasn't really friends to lovers, but we became friends, and then we kind of started dating. But yeah, I don't really know if I can think of anything else. It's kind of hard because I read a lot of dark romance, and my life is not a dark romance at all. So kind of hard to pick a trope from that. But if you guys think of a trope that I talked about that you're like, oh, that's a trope, let me know in the comments. I had a couple people ask if you could live in a world of a book, which would it be and why? This one I feel like is a great question for fantasy books. I read mostly romance, and a lot of romance books take place in just like the regular world. So I wouldn't want to say like a romance book. And I feel like this is a really basic answer, but it truly is like my most real answer, and that is probably ACOTAR. Maybe it's just because I loved those books so much, but A Court of Thorns and Roses, that whole world, like I just love that. I just think it's so cool and it's just so neat, and I don't know, maybe that or like Harry Potter. I feel like that'd be a really cool world if I was a wizard, but I don't know. Somebody else asked, what book couple do you think is the most similar to you and your fiance? And I struggled with this so much. I still don't have an answer. I just feel like all the book characters that I read about have such heavy character traits, like such really big personalities, and not necessarily like in a like obnoxious way, not like that they're like really big extroverts, but I just mean like they have like distinct qualities that I feel like it's hard to pinpoint like me and Griffin being, especially like this exact same. Like I might have read a book where I'm like, oh, this is similar to Griffin, and I've read maybe a book where I'm like, oh, this is similar to me, but like not in the same book. So I don't know. I really struggled with this, so I'm sorry, I can't really answer it, but it was really hard for me too. Also, I read a lot of books that like damaged characters, and like the guys are always like cold and moody and mean, and like Griffin's not that way at all. So it's really hard to compare him to a character. I don't know. I feel like he reminds me a lot of Ridge from Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. Ridge is just like such a sweetheart, and he just cares about people, and he doesn't want to break anyone's heart, and he wants to help people, and I feel like that is Griffin. So probably Ridge from Maybe Someday. And I really don't know about myself. It's really hard. If you guys think of a character that reminds you of me, or yeah, let me know in the comments, but that's the best I can do. Somebody asked, what is your favorite BIPOC book? And I feel like for this, it's more of like an author. You guys have probably heard me talk about this a million times, but The Silent Waters by Brittany C. Cherry. Are you kidding me? Brittany C. Cherry, love her. This is an amazing book. If you guys haven't read this, it's so good. And then also Kennedy Ryan is one of my favorites. I have not finished it, but I want to read the rest of it or just restart because it's been kind of a while. But I think it's called Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. This is the first book in the series, and it was so good. I was listening to it on audio, and it got like returned automatically because it had been too long, and so I lost my place, and I was like, dang it. So I never like went back and tried to find my place, but I really want to read it. So I might like buy a physical copy and then like reread it because it was so good. Oh my gosh, that was such a good book. Definitely deals with like heavy themes though, so be aware of that. But definitely Kennedy Ryan and Brittany C. Cherry. Somebody asked, this is a great question. Somebody asked, do you ever get burnt out on creating content? If so, how do you get out of it? This is definitely huge for me. I do get burnt out of creating content. I think at the beginning it was like I was so excited and I was having so much fun and I was growing and it was just so fun. I was meeting so many people and I was just so awesome because I had so much time on my hands that I wasn't getting burnt out of creating content. Like it was like, oh my God, like I filmed like 4 videos this week, like let's go. Whereas now I am really busy. I'm wedding planning. Even this summer I'm out of school, but I am working, and I work about 4 to 5 days a week for like 5 hours at a time, like right at the peak hours of sunlight. So I usually work from like 11 to 5 or 11 to 4 or 10 to 3. So it's like really hard to get quality videos. And so all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, it's Tuesday and I am supposed to have a video out tomorrow. Or, oh my God, it's Saturday, I'm supposed to have a video out tomorrow. Like I haven't even filmed anything. I haven't even planned anything. And so it does get really hard, but I think you just have to keep in mind, like it is something you love. And if you start to get burnt out, like take a break. Like nobody's gonna die if I stop filming videos. It is something that I do because I love it. And so as long as I love it, I'm gonna continue to do it. And knowing that there are people watching and who do want to see your videos does encourage you to make more, for sure. But if you're ever getting burnt out, I think you should definitely take a break because you don't want to become like resentful or start to like hate it. So that's kind of my opinion on that. One of my besties on Bookstagram asked, what's one book you're really excited to get to soon? Also love you XO, love you too. Actually, I have it right here on my bed, but I can't pick it up because it's currently holding up my ring light. That is Heart Recaptured by Tilly Cole. This is the second book in the Hangman series. It is a motorcycle club romance, which you guys know I love those. One of my great subscribers, LaDonna, sent it to me. Thank you so much, LaDonna. I love you so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. She did gift me this book, and so I'm so excited to get to it. And I think I'm actually gonna buddy read it with Naima from Naima's Reads because she also has has it, and I love buddy reading with Naima. We just have the best time when we buddy read things together. So anyways, that's something that I'm really excited to get to, and if you actually haven't read this book yet or this series, you need to do it because I know that you'd love it. Somebody said unpopular book opinion. I really don't feel like I have a ton that I can at least think of off the top of my head. One of them that I would say is that Percy Jackson just like isn't my favorite, and I feel like a lot of people love it. I did read the Percy Jackson series this year with some booktube friends of mine. We did like a read along, and I liked the first book, but after that I was like, okay, I'm done. So maybe that, like, I don't know. Somebody asked, do you have any goal books? And she kind of explained what she meant. I do. I would love to read a book by Stephen King at some point in my life. I don't really like thriller or horror books, so I don't really know if I'll get to it. I really want to read 11/22/66, but I just like don't know. That book's really intimidating to me. It's huge. It's like historical fiction, and I've heard it's really info dumpy, and that scares me, but I'd love to read something by Stephen King. My mom's a writer, and she just raves about Stephen King's writing, and so I know that he's like an amazing writer, and he like has done so much for like writers, but that's probably one. 11/22/63 is, or 60, 11/22/63. Did I say 66 earlier? I think it's 63. I don't really remember. It's too many numbers to remember, but that is a book I'd love to read at some point. Somebody asked, what's the best book you've read so far this year? Probably These Monstrous Ties by K.V. Rose. Love, love, love that book. It's so good. It's also a dark romance, so like one of the darkest romances I've ever read, so please don't go into that blind. Somebody said, I'm gonna try to speed through these because it's already been so long and I want to get to the rest of these. What's the best book you've read because of booktube? I'd have to say the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I had so much fun with those. I can't even explain to you why I haven't finished the third book, but that is like one of the greatest reading experiences I've had since I was like in high school and I started discovering reading, since like Hunger Games and all those like really fun books that I read in high school. Definitely ACOTAR. Those were just amazing. The experience of reading those for the first time was so cool. She also asked, what are you most excited about when you start teaching? Honestly, I'm just really excited to like get in the room and like get with my kids. I'm really nervous because I know how much it wore me out, and I'm scared that I'm gonna just be like so exhausted all the time, but I'm really excited because I love kids and I love teaching, and I think my most exciting part about teaching is going to be like reading. Reading's my favorite subject, obviously, and so I just love reading with kids and finding really, really cool books for them to get into reading with. She also said, what are your favorite YouTube channels to watch? This is a great question. I love, of course, my besties, my friends, Naima from Naima's Reads, Mara from Mara Reads, Mary Grace from MG's Library. I don't know if she's posted in a while, but I still love her videos. I also haven't watched a ton of booktube recently. Since I was like on a little mini hiatus, I also wasn't watching a ton, and so it's like been so long, but I always love Chandler Ainsley's videos. Nitty from Nitty Ready Reads, love her videos. This is like really hard off the top of my head without looking at my subscription box. Mel Reads, love her videos. Gosh, it's really hard off the top of my head, guys. Oh, Roomies from the Roomies Digest, Jess from Peace Love Books, Riley Marie. So those are kind of just some booktubers off the top of my head. I watch a lot more, but I just can't think of all of them right now, and I don't want to pull up my YouTube app because I have my questions already open. So yeah, another question that I got is, what are plans for after graduation? How has the teaching interview process been going, and have you been accepted a teaching position for next year? So my plans after graduation, I'm actually working at a jewelry store over the summer, and then I am obviously going to be teaching in the fall, so I'm just gonna quit the jewelry store at the end of the summer. But the district that I applied to, I only applied to one district, which is terrifying, but hopefully I'll get a job in that district. I think it's promising, and I think it's okay, and I've been advised that it's okay that I just applied there. It's a pretty big district, and I know that's where I want to work, and so they actually haven't started their interviews yet. All of the people that work there right now have to resubmit their contract to like say if they want to work there again next year by May 10th, I think. And then after May 10th, then they're gonna start like interview processing and like hiring external people. And so I really haven't started that yet. So I don't really have any information on like interviewing and all that stuff. But so no, I haven't accepted a teaching position yet for next year. I'm hoping to teach at the school that I did my internship at though. I loved that school so much and I'd love to work there. So that's definitely on my radar. She also asked, what are your tips for someone who is thinking about starting a booktube account? I think this is a great question because I know a lot of people do think about it and they're just kind of like scared to start or scared to try, which is exactly what I was like at the beginning of this. So my biggest tip is just go go for it. Go for it and take a chance, take a shot. My second tip is consistency. Stay consistent. Like, I know how hard it is, especially in the beginning when you have like 2 people watching your videos, but stay consistent. That is my biggest tip. Also, my other tip is to go subscribe to Catherine Manning on YouTube. She has like analytic tips for YouTube and how to like optimize your videos for search engine, how to optimize your videos for people to click on them or to find them in their home, all of the things that help you analytically on YouTube. Catherine Manning is your girl. I'll link her channel down below. I love that girl. I watch her vlog channel now. Like, I'm just so obsessed with her life and her in general. But anyways, she's so intelligent, so smart, and knows YouTube like nobody else. So she's also really open and honest and talks about her monetization and all the money that she makes. And anyways, if you're interested in that or interested in starting, she also has a video called like how to start a YouTube channel in 2020, which like blew her up. I definitely recommend watching that video as well, because she like helped me grow my channel just based on the videos that I've watched from her. So definitely Catherine Manning helped a lot. And again, consistency is key. Also, just good quality stuff. Like, I personally think that having a good quality camera helps boost your channel, but that's just me. Obviously, you can do it on an iPhone. I mean, like, there's so many people that are huge on YouTube that film with an iPhone. So get out there, do it with your iPhone, do whatever you can. iMovie, I edit all my videos on iMovie. Get smart with it. Just watch as many iMovie tip videos as possible to see all that you can do in iMovie. There's just so much you can do. Do a lot of research. I really hope that that was helpful. I just said a lot of information at once, but yeah, that's my tips for starting a booktube channel. Oh, and also I meant to say, find yourself your friends. Find your friends and support each other. Supporting each other on the booktube platform is really helpful, and it just grows connections, it grows friendships. So find your friends, find your people, and support each other. All right, guys, unfortunately that is all the time we have for questions today. I didn't want to make this video like an hour long, so I wanted to keep it as short as possible. So I did kind of scrunch a lot of questions together and speak on some topics quickly. But again, I am an open book, so if you have any more questions on anything else that you want me to go more into, you can always DM me on Instagram or Twitter at RayRayReads. Both of those handles are RayRayReads. And then of course, you can always ask me in my comment section on YouTube. I pretty much respond to every single comment. So if you leave me a comment, chances are 99% of the time I will respond. So if you do have a question, I can answer you there as well. But again, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I cannot believe it's been a whole year. It's been such a great year. I've had so much fun, and I just love you guys so much. So thank you for hanging around. Thanks for sticking with me. I know it's been a ride, and I'm just really excited to see what the next year brings. So I love you guys so much. As always, don't forget to check the description box down below. That has all the links to my social media if you want to follow me there, as well as my Amazon wishlist if you wish to support me there. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. I love you guys so much, and I've said that 45 times now, but I just can't get over it. All right, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something bad.